Nation.
My people, my people, my people, what up, what up? Hey, I think I already told y'all this, but just in case I didn't, I don't think I did. I know y'all like them long ass videos. I know y'all like 30-40 minute videos. And trust me, this video was supposed to be at least 40 minutes long. For some reason, the app would not let me save that video. It wasn't until I broke it in half, that's when I was able to save it. So I'm gonna figure that out though. It might be my phone storage. I might gotta get external hard drive. A lot of things I'm gonna have to make a change to. From now on, we just gonna keep it at 20 to 25 minutes just so we don't have problems like that for right now. So I hope y'all enjoy this part 3. Y'all stay safe, y'all stay positive. Salute. She actually sits up, look Tiffany in the eye, toothbrush still in her mouth, and when she says toothpaste flies out her mouth, hit Tiffany in the face.
Come on, we can go take a sale.
And you know, she still got this pent up anger. She's off psych meds every other day. And she's still going through this pain of losing these people. So anytime she had a chance to put some pain in, to let loose some of this pain she got holding on to her, she obliged. They go in the cell, they get the thumping, and she puts Tiffany in a bear hug. She's a little bit bigger than her. Throw her on the desk, she's throwing haymakers. Tiffany hit her with 3-4 good punches, nose bleeding. She back away, she grabbed her face, seen that her nose bleeding. Tiffany got blood on her shirt, but unlike the last time, no one told, they weren't too loud, and no one found out. She went and cleaned her face up and everything cool after that. Now y'all, by this time, she is all the way adjusted to the life of prison. She done got comfortable with the way that things are from now on. From here on out, this is what it is. She detached from home and made this her home from the time being. Now earlier in the story, we talked about somebody by the name of Carla. Now Carla, she was the McDonald's manager that actually helped them get inside that front door that day when they did the robbery on their first one. She ends up turning state witness and giving a statement. But because Tiffany and Twan, they pled guilty, they didn't need her statement no more. So Carla ended up getting arrested right along with Twan and Tiffany. And she lands in the same correctional facility that she was in. But they were not housed in the same buildings at all. They didn't see each other. But the people that they were mingling with, the people that they were messing with, girlfriends, friends, whatever, they seen each other. So one day, it's a regular day. She's not thinking nothing of nothing. It's just one of those days. Now, don't ask me how they end up in the salad port. I don't know. I've never been to prison, so it could be any number of reasons. She ends up there and she runs into another woman who's actually the girlfriend of Carla. During this time, during her whole time here, she's already told her girlfriend that, hey, Tiffany got her locked up. I wouldn't be here if Tiffany didn't snitch. Basically putting a snitch jacket on her. And we all know what a snitch jacket does to someone in prison. Now, I don't know if that runs the same in women's prisons, but we've heard the horror stories in men's prison. She runs into Tiffany and instantly she get with her. She want to fight.
You got my girl locked up. You the only reason she here.
Even though if she never got locked up, you never would have met her ass. And Tiffany, she confused.
I don't even know you. Like, I ain't got no beef with you. I mean, when I see you in passing, I'll speak, but overall, I don't know you. What's the problem?
Into the argument, she ends up breaking it down to Carla's girlfriend that, hey, that's not how it went. Me and Twan, we pled guilty. She was already gonna tell, but the prosecutors didn't need her statement no more, so they ended up locking her up. I ain't have to tell on nobody. She wasn't trying to hear it. She wasn't trying to hear it. With all that talking, nothing happened. They end up going their separate ways. And when she get back to her cell, she's on the top tier. She sends word to another pod to let Carla know, hey, don't send nobody to fight me. If you want to fight, we can do this one-on-one. Needless to say, nothing came from it. And all while doing this, she is still working the kitchen. She's still doing HVAC. She's still going to choir. She keeps her day busy to do her time smooth. She don't mess with nobody. She don't get in nobody business. She ain't running her mouth. She stay to herself. Only way that she'll get into it with anybody is if anybody with her. Now, she thought to herself, she got to start making some type of money. Living off of what you make from the state, we all know how horrific them numbers is. Working up to 200 hours and only making less than $100, you're not gonna survive that way. So she figured out different ways to survive, and man, did she survive. Like natural born hustler, she had a lot of skills that actually came lucrative while she was in prison. While working in the kitchen, she got access to the storeroom. She got access to coolers, seasonings, different little things in the kitchen that a lot of people in those pods would love to have. Besides braiding hair, pressing hair, sewing clothes, she even made cheesecake and sold it to the inmates. One of her main hustles was actually taking pulled pork, breaking it down into 4 packs and selling it each individually. And the way that she would have to get it out, she would have to wear oversized clothes, slid inside her socks, between her legs, under her titties. They're everywhere, all over her body. But she got these clothes on to conceal it and to keep everything tight so they won't fall out. And when she would work in the kitchen, the guard there, she knew her. They was cool. She would pat her down. She know the guard gonna let her go. So she passed one, but she knows she still gotta make it all the way to the pod. Just hoping and praying she get there. And every time she does this, it's the same exact way. And never got caught. You know, life is not good, life is not perfect, but all things considering, for what it is, it's good enough. She was real popular throughout these pods. You know, she had a few girls that she messed with. She had a few relationships she been in, but it was one specific girl that she dealt with through her whole bid. And for the sake of the video, we're gonna call her Kiara. Now she's in SEG one day. She's been in SEG for about a couple weeks at this point, and she's singing. And Kiara can hear her singing, and they hit it off. They break ice, they start talking, and from there, they're a couple. But at the same time, them being a couple from the jump was toxic as Now Kiara, she was bigger than her. Tiffanie, she's what, 5'4", 5'5", so compared to a woman who's 5'10", 5'11", a little thicker, it's almost giant size. So from Jump Street, Tiffanie felt like she would try to handle her in a way as of trying to make her her, but Tiffanie was no one's, and everybody that knew her knew that. But one fateful day, there in the chow hall, she's right there with Kiara, and a friend that Tiffanie knew that was already at the prison, she had got shipped out, ended up getting shipped back. While they're in the chow hall, she speaks. But come to find out, Kiara, she is actually not cool with this friend that she knows. When Tiffanie gets up and try to go speak, Kiara grabs her by the back of the hair and pulls her down and cusses her to fuck out. Now before Tiffanie can get up and throw her hands like we all know she does, the guards crowd them instantly. They right on it. Man, I swear to God, if the guards was this goddamn efficient at all the other prisons, there'd never be another stabbing. Tiffanie ends up getting up and leaving. She didn't have to leave, but she got up and left. There was no consequences that came from it. Nobody got in trouble. Nobody went to SEG. She went back to her pod. She go back in her room and she's cleaning up. So they got a lot of chemical bottles laying around. They got a lot of things going on. Kiara ends up coming back to the room. And instantly, they're arguing, they're going back and forth, getting into it, and she ends up picking up a bottle and sprays Tiffanie in the face with it. Now, it wasn't a lot. It was like the remnants at the bottom of the bottle, so it wasn't too much to where it affected her like that, but it's still disrespectful. You can hear feet scratching. You can hear shit hitting the wall. Sound like niggas in there moving furniture. But after they done, after they get it in and get everything off their chest, they sit down, they talk, and they actually get cool again. Now, they fight more after this. They fight more then, there, but they end up always getting back cool. And it kind of mirrors the relationship that she had with Twan when she was on the outside. Tiffanie would be in a relationship, but always go back to Twan. Be back in a relationship, but always end back up with Twan. Almost like they was destined to be together, but it never happened. They never had kids or nothing. And throughout their relationship that they was having with each other, I always thought about, other than oral, I always wondered how did they satisfy themselves in prison? How did they get off that urge that they had to get some in prison? So what they did, and there's many ways to do this. Unlike men, there's a lot of ways a woman can satisfy herself. They would take a bunch of pencils, unsharpened, clump them together, take a ton of pads, a ton of menstrual pads, wrap them around those clump of pencils, take a latex glove, put that on top, and because she worked in the kitchen, she had access to saran wrap. Most workers would sell them to other inmates to use, or some of them would actually take the saran wrap off the diabetic trays that they give you, the little snack wrap, the snap bags, and use them that way. Wrap it around the pads and the pencils to kind of tighten it so the pads won't move around, and attach that to a sports bra, which will attach to yourself. And now you got a prison-made dildo. Now, to her, the feeling was unenjoyable. Not even a little bit. She couldn't really understand how other women in this pod got satisfaction from this because she said it was so uncomfortable. It didn't feel good at all. She never used it herself, but her girlfriend Kiara used it to try to satisfy her. While they're going in and out of the motions of being in a relationship while incarcerated, it's like a regular relationship on the outside. One day you good, one day you not. You make up, you break up. And on this day is what really showed their loyalty to each other. They're in the pod one day with two other female inmates who were dating also. Tiffanie goes to get in the shower, and while she's in the shower, her girlfriend Kiara ends up arguing with one of these females. They end up fighting, they going in, and the girlfriend of the female she's fighting, she jumps in. So they end up jumping Kiara. Now, while Tiffanie is in the shower, she hearing all this going on, but she not really knowing what's going on, but actually ends up finding out that her girlfriend is being jumped. And like the Onyx we know, she jump out the shower, soapy, wet, put on a state-issued gown, and run out to help her girl. Now this fight get wild. They go in. It's 4 girls fighting at one time. The pod getting loud, people throwing stuff over the railings, other people start fighting. You can hear the female guard at the time that's watching this pod get on her walkie-talkie and call for more guards, call for more help to come. Now, about 10 minutes later, when the pod is already ruined and fucked up, guards come in, they threaten to spray pepper spray. Now, Tiffanie instantly gets down. She not finna get sprayed for nobody. So she get down, and the only people that they locked up was them 4 girls who were fighting. And after being transported to SEG, she was in segregation for another 2 months. Now, after that situation, you know, she really thought about her time in prison. She thought about everything she's already been through, everything that she's got into, the people on the outside that still depends on her to come home. And she figured that she would calm down. She want to really focus on getting her good time back. She lost a lot of her good time. Now she's settling down and trying to get mentally prepared to come home soon. She's about a little over halfway through her bed at this time. So one day she's sitting in her cell and she's thinking about her mom. She's thinking about her grandmother. She's thinking about her uncle. All the people that passed since she been here, the kids she got on the outside, and she wants to find out where she really came from. You know, she's feeling lonely. She don't really feel like she got too much of a connection out there that's really here that can come in and touch her and talk to her like she would love to. So she wants to find out who she really is and where she really came from. So what she did was she went to the law library and she looked up the agency that she was actually adopted through, which was called Catholic Christian Services. I'm not sure if that's the exact name, but if I'm wrong, y'all let me know in them comments. Now, she wrote the agency a letter letting them know that she really wants to find her birth family. She wants to find out if she has any siblings. She wants to know where she came from. And when they respond back telling her that, hey, we found your file, and what we got to do is we got to send this information to all the people, all the adults that are associated in your case. And we have to get confirmation that it's okay for us to release their information to you so that you can find them. So she's waiting for this information to take a little while, and when it finally gets there, the response is yes from majority of everybody. She finds out that her dad is actually incarcerated also. Her birth dad, not the dad that she knew as her dad growing up, but the dad that is her biological father, he is incarcerated for robbery. But it's his 3rd strike, so he got at least 30 to 40 years. Probably won't see daylight until he's an old man, or he just may die in prison. And then to sit there in her cell and know that information that her dad is currently incarcerated for the same exact crime that she is involved in, it gotta spin your mind. It gotta make you think, what the is this hereditary? But maybe it's just by chance, maybe it's coincidence. Now, among the people who respond to the request on if they want to release their information, her mother was one of them. Everyone said yes, except of her birth mother. She finds out later that her mother didn't actually say no. She finds out her birth mother actually passed away back in the year 2000. So she couldn't answer regardless. So the no was just without context. And she also finds out she has 2 older siblings, which are twins, boy and a girl. And she's just now finding out halfway through her bed that she has 4 nephews and 1 niece. Now, time goes by, and she's calmed down a lot. She hasn't really gotten a fight in a while. She's still in and out of a relationship with Kiara, but overall, she's actually become a model prisoner, as they would say. And there was a situation that really made her feel like, you know, I really want to get out of here. I want to see the light of day. I don't want to die in prison. She was in her pod one day, and it was this girl who cell set at an angle from hers. She's on the top tier, and her cell's at the bottom tier, but you can see her cell at a downward angle. And she's been complaining all day about short of breath, chest pain. She's went to the medical ward at least 4 or 5 times, and they're constantly telling her the same thing. You know, just go lay back down and take some Tums, which I don't understand, because if someone's telling you they got short of breath and their chest is hurting, why give them something to help their stomach? She goes back into her cell, she lays down. She's trying to thug it out, but it's getting worse, and it's getting worse. She goes back to the medical ward. And this time they denied her. They didn't even let her in the medical ward, telling her, look, there's nothing we can really do for you. Just take the Tums and lay down and go to sleep. Get some rest. This last time she goes back into her cell, she tries to get on her bunk and passes out. her roommate actually went out and got the guards to let them know, hey, what's going on? Look what's going on. And one of the guards actually starts doing CPR on her, constantly pumping her chest, pumping her chest. Tiffanie is watching from her cell, and the only thing that she can see is her on the ground and her feet moving every time her chest is pumped. Every time her chest is pumped, her feet is twitching, going up and down. And they had to been doing this for at least 20 to 30 minutes. And finally, the paramedics do show up, and they come with a defibrillator. And they hit her with the defibrillator a few times, but she's not coming back. Hit her some more, she's not coming back. Tiffanie stayed up until about 3 or 4 o'clock that morning, and her body was still in the cell on the floor. Now, as it crept up to the time where she would be released, we're talking about the last year or a few months of her ready to be released from prison. She knew that going home, she's not gonna have the people that she had going in. She felt scared. She was damn near terrified. You know, coming in, she was nervous, but she adapted. It was almost easy to adapt in this environment, but going back home after 8 years, after all of this, was damn near horrifying for her. Turns out, when it gets to almost 4 months before she's released, her good time level changed. So when everybody is expecting her to be home 4 months later, she actually get there 2 months early. So with her calming down, really settling down and making sure she's doing the right thing, it actually did pay off. Maybe not as much, but hey, something is better than none. Now, Tiffanie was released in the year 2017. She was incarcerated the year 2010. When she finally got home, the first thing she did was went to go see her kids. And to see her kids, who she left 8 years ago, it was weird for her. Seeing that newborn baby that had to go one way while she went the other, and now seeing him again at 7 years old, knowing that she had nothing to do with the process of raising him. Seeing her older son, who's now matured, who's changed, seeing her face and his face, it was weird for her. She came home a week before his birthday, so she was able to celebrate a birthday with him right away. That made her feel better. It felt wonderful for her, but she also felt like there was something missing. There was a plug that wasn't connected. As far as the guy that she actually was locked up with, that got caught with, that did all the robberies with, he is still currently locked up in prison, still doing his 15-year bid. I think he gets out next year or the year after next. But his time in prison was totally different from her time in prison. Now, granted, she was bisexual going in, so this was always her lifestyle. But Twan, he fully switched to the other side. He met a guy in there, and they're a full-fledged relationship, and they plan on getting married when they get on the outside. Now, while all that was going on, while all that was taking place in the midst of his time, Tiffanie got out in 2017. So when she got out, she fresh out, she still got love for this dude. She still got love for this man, so she's still doing him favors. Now, I don't want to really speak on the favors she was doing for him, but I'm pretty sure if a lot of y'all have watched a lot of prison content, I'm pretty sure y'all know where I'm getting at. She's on the outside, she's doing favors for him, he's on the inside. She doesn't get word that this is actually going on until she actually talks to the guy's mother that Twan is in a relationship with. It just had to come clean with her because she didn't want her out here looking stupid. Let's say she get another charge for a man that ain't even her man. She go catch a fresh charge with 30 years already over her head because you doing something for a man that don't even want women at this point. And he play for the Green Bay Packers now. All right, I did it. I said it, y'all. I said it. Shit. Now, Tiffany's story is one of many stories that I've heard through over the past couple months by a lot of females. You know, I chose her story for a reason. And I just want to let y'all know that I summarized her prison experience because it would be impossible to give you her full 8 years into one video. But what I am going to do is direct you to her channel so she can tell you exactly and explicitly every detail of whatever she went through while she was there, if you choose to. She has no videos as of yet, but she does have a video already ready. She just have to get the editing process done, and she'll have the video ready for y'all if y'all want to subscribe to the page. If y'all want to know the full story of Twan and Tiffanie, or the full story of Twan going to the other side, or the deeper relationship with her and Kiara, the other fights she done had in prison. It's a lot of fights she done had that I didn't really speak on because it would just be a whole video about fights. I kind of wanted to touch a lot more things than just that. Her name Tiffanie, and her channel here is 804 Onyx. She a die-hard D-Nation representative, and if you like prison content, this is definitely a channel you should check out when she get it up and running. And the message I want to leave with y'all is this. Don't let your past actions define you. Don't let the things that you did back then when you were a kid, the decisions you made, the mistakes you made, make it so this is the person that you are still today. Everyone can change. Because when it is too late to change, you won't know it. Because you won't be here. But as long as you're breathing, as long as you got the ability to get up, talk, move, run, walk, you got the ability to change yourself. And to everybody out there trying to change themselves for the better, I salute you. Y'all stay safe, y'all stay positive. If you ain't moving, you losing. I go by D-Jack, but you can call me D. And we out.
I go extra hard on that hard flow.
Call me D.